It's the 3 on PLAX TV.
Yeah, freestyling. Yeah, freestyling. Yeah. What's good, y'all? It's your boy PLAX, and I am back with another episode of the 3 on PLAX TV. And in this episode, I'm talking about the in-season tournament. I don't have any notes about this. I'm just gonna freestyle, talk my shit. I usually have notes for stuff like this, but okay, I'm gonna just let the thoughts fly out. I was one of the guys when the in-season tournament was announced that thought it was stupid. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was unnecessary. Part of the reason I thought that was because guys in today's NBA barely care about like playing well during the regular season. They barely care about making it to the playoffs or the finals now. Like most guys don't give a fuck. Like everybody from Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma to, to certain extents, Paul George and Lou Will and guys like that, they've proven it because they've said it in certain situations. They didn't care, whether it be the bubble or whatever. These guys today don't care as much about the championships and the playoffs and all this stuff. So I was like, adding a new tournament for them to care even less of a fuck about, I just didn't think it made sense. I was like, I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to make the regular season more exciting, but I didn't think that it will work out that way. It was the same with the play-in tournament. I didn't think the play-in tournament made much sense. I didn't think it was going to be that beneficial. But the in-season tournament was awesome. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I wholeheartedly have enjoyed the in-season tournament from basically beginning to end. Like, I think the in-season tournament made some stars that I feel like guys that probably were going to be stars eventually anyway, but I think it upped their value a little bit because I think if some of these games were just regular season games, it would just be like, oh, this guy is playing really well and that's great. But some of these guys like Tyrese Halliburton and LaMelo Ball and who else? Those two stand out the most to me. Anthony Edwards. Some of these guys were really showing out during the in-season tournament games, really trying to win. And that was awesome. Like, it changed the atmosphere of the game. Some of the games really felt like playoff games. And that's dope in the beginning of the season where guys are just trying to find their footing and stuff like that, trying to figure stuff out, and you have them playing like it's playoff time. That's dope. I think the biggest issue with the in-season tournament now is going to be trying to incentivize the teams that are the good teams, right? Because mostly the teams that were really performing well and going crazy were the teams that are probably not going to be in contention for the championship. They might make the playoffs possibly. They might even be doing well in the statistics right now or in the standings right now. But those, like, the Pacers might make the playoffs possibly, but they're not going to the final. They're probably going to get knocked out in the first round. The Pelicans, they're not going to be in the conference finals. They might not even make the semifinals. They might not even make the playoffs. The Timberwolves have been playing extremely well. Anthony Edwards has been playing great. Cat has been improving. Rudy Gobert, they seem to be meshing well. Those niggas ain't going to the finals, bro. Like, they're not going to the finals. I just highly doubt they're going to the finals or even the conference finals for that matter. It's gonna be hard to incentivize the superstars like the Denvers and the Celtics. And the only team that I think could be in contention of like the conference finals or the finals were the Lakers. And the only reason they won it and went as far is because LeBron wanted the in-season tournament championship. More so he wanted the $500K, like he isn't a fucking billionaire. Whatever. That's a whole different story. Me and my buddy Angel did a video about clout hoopers. And when LeBron was hyping up the $500K, Angel brought to my attention that LeBron might be a clout hooper. I didn't want to get into that because I felt like it was Michael Jordan propaganda and I just didn't like it. I was like, it's just another thing people are trying to throw out there to make LeBron look worse. But after watching like how he played, like that nigga was playing like this was like his sixth not his fifth. He was playing like this is his sixth or seventh championship, and this is what's gonna put him over the top of Jordan. Like he was, and not even the championship, the 500K. The man's a billionaire, and he was playing like Zuri wasn't gonna eat those nights if he didn't play well. Like LeBron was playing playoff Bron, zero dark 30 Bron. Like that's how he was playing, bro, and it was crazy. But besides the Lakers, there weren't any teams that really that are contenders that stood out to me. Like Boston, they played the Pacers, and they were like, I watched that game of Boston versus the Pacers with my buddy Black, and we were laughing at it because like they were bullshitting around. Honestly, like they were throwing lobs to each other. The Pacers were letting T.J. McConnell like take a lot of shots that he usually doesn't take. I forgot what the tall white boy on Boston name is, but he was catching lobs and shit, and we were just laughing. We was like, yeah, these guys aren't playing serious. Halliburton was, but Tatum and Brown and everybody else, like even some of the Pacers players weren't playing like hard. Really, they were bullshitting kind of. But then on the flip side of that, there were some really intense, great games. Like the Pacers, even though they had that game against Boston, every other game they played in was very intense, hardcore. You felt like everybody really wanted this. It was dope. The Lakers played some very intense games. You could feel that they really wanted it. Up until the conference finals, or I guess you call it the conference finals. I'm not really sure. But up until the conference finals, the Pelicans were playing very well. Minnesota, they surprised me. They've been playing very well. Anthony Edwards has shown that he's Michael Jordan's son, or one of his sons. Like he really has elevated himself to a whole new level. His shot percentages is up. He looks more confident than he already was out there. He looks dominant. His defense is better. Tyrese Halliburton has solidified himself kind of as one of the best guards, if not the best guard in the NBA right now. Like he's legitimately dominating. Like throughout the in-season tournament, he averaged like 25 and 12 assists and like 2 steals or something like that. He's shooting amazing percentages. He's making his teammates play better around him. It was beautiful basketball. The Hornets, they got knocked out relatively early, but they were playing well as a team. Like they were really making things happen during the in-season tournament. It's just like they're just young and they're just not good enough to beat certain teams, but they were playing extremely well during the tournament. And I was pretty much enthralled throughout the whole thing. Sometimes during the in-season tournament, it legitimately felt like playoff basketball. The only thing that I was talking with my buddy Black about, sorry if I'm rambling too, guys. I don't have a script, so I'm just going. One of the things I was talking to my buddy Black about that he brought to my attention was one of the things he didn't like is that the announcers kept like trying to imply that these guys really want it. Like Reggie Miller and different guys were saying like, oh, these guys are really playing hard. They really want this. And you could tell it was just like pushing it to make people feel it. But they didn't really have to do that because the players were doing it. You know what I'm saying? And again, not every game. Like I said, like some games you could kind of tell people were taking off. But for the most part, people were really taking it seriously. And I appreciate that. I think that's awesome. And I think going forward, this one obviously isn't as prestigious because it's the first one. But I think it will be more prestigious as time goes on, 10, 20, 30 years from now. When you look back on it, I think the in-season tournament is going to be a huge deal as time progresses, obviously. I think it's going to be more of a huge deal for the mid-level teams, though, that are probably not going to win a championship, but are able to make something happen for the in-season tournament. Like, who's to say, like Tyrese Halliburton, for example, at the end of his career, let's say he only wins one NBA championship, but he has 5 in-season tournament championships. what does that mean for his career, right? What will that mean at the end of his career 15, 20 years from now? Will the prestige of the in-season tournament give him a boost? Or will people be like, oh, those are just in-season tournaments? I think if guys continue to play hard and really act like it matters, which it does, because it's a championship. It is a championship. It's not the NBA championship, but it is something. If guys continue to play hard like they did in the first one and take it seriously, I think the prestige of it will go up higher, and I think it will mean more to guys, which will make guys play even harder. And I think it'll be like it'll be an important award and an important badge on people's careers going forward, potentially. But I liked it. I apologize for talking shit about. I don't know if I talked about it on here, but I was definitely one of those guys that was like, this is stupid. Why are we doing this? Guys already don't give a fuck. You're just giving them another reason not to give a fuck. But some of the guys were really going after it, and I think that's awesome. And it made some guys, like, I don't know if they planned on doing that or not, but some of these guys like Halliburton, LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, guys like that really turned it on and proved that they're next up, and maybe not even next up, they're right now. And I think that was the best part of the in-season tournament. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Were you kind of like me? Did you think it was going to be stupid and then you watched it and you thought it was cool? Do you still think it's stupid even though it was decent? Do you think it was trash? Do you think it'll become more prestigious as time goes on? Do you think it'll like sway certain guys' careers later on? Who knows? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, make sure you ding that notification bell so you know every time I drop a video. And most of all, YouTube, I love you guys. Peace out.
It's the 3 on PLAX TV.
Yeah, freestyling. Yeah, freestyling. Yeah.